Saturday, and I will, let you know on Wednesday. Right now, he would be questionable at best, and I'll open it up for any of your questions there.
Well, what does a game like that do for everybody's confidence? And now do you worry about maybe getting a little overconfident going on?
We don't have anything to be overconfident about. So, I think that, one of the things you're talking to your players about is, how you respond after a loss and then how you respond after a win. We need to form some consistency in what we're doing. And the work ethic of this football team, I think, will be, they'll respond the right way.
But did it give you guys a big confidence?
I don't think there's any question. We needed a win like that, and over a good football team, and so there's no question that ought to breed some confidence in what we're trying to do. There's no question.
Coach, Jeff Dillman gave you the game ball in the locker room after the game. What did you do with that? What did that kind of mean to you after getting your first win in this rivalry?
Well, I was, again, I'm more happy for our players and our fans, and to let them enjoy it as much as anything. I was standing there talking about the game and thinking about the next one, to be honest with you. So you kind of move to the next. You reflect when the season's over, in my opinion. But I gave it to Jeff McGrew, our equipment manager. He'll paint it up and give it to me after the season.
Do you spend any time looking at East scenarios?
No. I mean, at the end of the day, we need to win. And it's laser focused on Florida and Vanderbilt for our football team. There's no scenario matters unless we win, and it starts in 7:30 in Nashville.
Did you make that clear to the players?
I haven't addressed them yet about it, and after the game, I will today. Yeah, sure will.
Well, do you feel like there was potential for division on the team, losing confidence? I mean, at any point going
not with the leadership
we have
not with the leadership we have on this team, and you talk in terms of Max Garcia and Chaz Green and DJ Humphreys and Matt Jones. I mean, those are good guys. Antonio Morrison, all of those guys are team guys. Vernon Hargraves, Dante Fowler. All of those guys, John Bullard, they're good team guys. They're about the locker room. They're about the football team and what's best for our team. Control the controllables is something we always talk to our football team about. Never once felt like that would happen.
Have you been on a team where that started to happen before?
Not really. I haven't been.
Are you proud of those guys being able to do that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It says a lot about them. We talk to them all the time. It's not just all about football. It's a lot about life. Life's difficult. There's going to be some hardships that you've got to deal with. And it's not always what happens to you. It's how you handle it and how you move forward with it. So there's life lessons involved in all of this.
Before the season, a lot of people thought the 1-2 punch of Matt Jones, Kellen Taylor would have results like it did on Saturday. What happened Saturday that allowed them both to have those carries and have the number of yards that they did?
Well, we kept the ball. We've had 15 turnovers in the previous 4 games. So when you don't have ball possession, it's hard to continue to do that. And the game before the Georgia game, the scoreboard changed quickly on us, and we had a hard time staying in some running game situations. So that was difficult to deal with. But we haven't as blocked as well up front. And I think we've blocked well up front, but we had some nice running lanes in what we were trying to do. I think it was a good plan by our offensive staff to go in the ball game. And a lot of times when you get into any game, especially coming off an off week, you're projecting a little bit what you think you're going to see, because you don't always see the same things every week, and people change up on you. So again, hats off to our offensive staff and their plan. But again, I think you saw the talent level that we have at the position, and I feel good where we are.
How much pressure was relieved off of Treon? Of course, it's its first start. It's a rivalry game, and he only had to throw 6 passes because the running game was so effective.
I don't know that a lot of pressures with Treon internally ever has a lot. He's a very calm, composed young man. He doesn't get flustered by a lot, and I saw that throughout the preparation. Saw it on Friday in our walkthrough, into Saturday morning at the hotel, and talking to him. If he was nervous, he does a good job of faking that he's not. I can assure you of that.
Does he mind just throwing 6 passes? That's nothing to...
He's a team guy. He wants to win, and he was nobody happier than Treon Harris was after that game. So we'll need to continue to develop that moving forward, and I feel very comfortable where we are and moving forward, throwing the football. It just never presented itself Saturday, and it's just one of those games that, you feel like, why change what we're doing here? Things are really working for us, and we're continuing to move the change. We're converting on third down. We did not want to get in a game because they're a very good loose downs defense. I mean, when you start cutting Floyd and Jenkins on the edge, they give you some major issues, and they do a lot of different combination coverages on the back end that we didn't want to have to deal with. We weren't going to partake in that game, so we needed to shorten the down and distance. So again, I thought it was very well planned by our offensive staff and executed by our players.
What was it like to go back, watch the tape, and see the way DeMarcus Robinson blocked in the game?
Well, not just DeMarcus. LaTroy Pittman blocked well. Ahmad Fulwood blocked well. One of the blocks from DeMarcus got two guys. That says something about the effort. But he's a competitor. He competes all the time. He's one of our best practice players. And he goes out every single day and works extremely hard, whether it's blocking or running routes or whatever it may be, returning kicks. I mean, he's a very, very competitive. That's one of the great talents he has. God's blessed him with a competitive edge.
You've said plenty of times throughout your time here that you would like to throw the ball all over the field, when you guys are able to.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a game like that, the people would say, why would receivers want to come here? But yet your guys on the team seem to have no problem going out there and blocking. What does that say about them? And what would you say to maybe receivers out there that?
Well, it was very unselfish of their part. You look at Matt Jones' touchdown run, there's three guys in the end zone with him, and that's Ahmad, that's Pitt, and that's D-Rob. So, they're team guys. They understand that, it's coming together for a greater purpose than themselves, and that says a lot of the type of young men they are, too. What I would say is we're going to be able to throw the ball and throw the ball extremely well. But you get into a game like that, you need to do what it takes to win football games. And at the end of the day, they all like winning more than anything else. Most of them do. And the ones that don't care about that, you don't want.
And Tony, over here to the left.
Well, today, Vernon was named one of the Big semifinalists.
Mm-hmm.
His play this year, particularly, I know a lot of people kind of go away from him, and just how he's handled all that this year and how he makes plays.
I think he's handled it extremely well. Vernon's a very, you can coach him hard, and he's a guy that really handles, all of that well as far as those things are concerned. But I think he's played extremely well. I really do. You go back, and I don't know, he had one ball. We got caught in a disguise on 3rd and 9 the other day, and we were trying to, we planned for some more look back than we got on 3rd down, and they didn't look back. They went quick. We got caught off in a disguise look. So that really wasn't on Vernon. That was more on game plan. And so, they completed the dig on us there. But, he hasn't, hadn't been many balls completed. We had a little bit of an issue on their sideline late in the game with the communication, but he's really played well. He's a very good football player. He made a really nice play on the back shoulder ball down on the goal line. That's a very difficult play to make. And then the deep ball down their sideline. I don't know if there was any other balls his way for the game, but I'm very, very pleased with how he's handled this year and how he continues to improve and get better. And he's a really good leader and a very good communicator as well.
Thomas and Mel.
Will, with Keanu out there, you had to go to Marcus kind of a little at safety. How did you feel like he responded, and going forward, is he kind of the guy there?
Well, we've got some other guys in the mix. Depending package-wise this week and looking at it, we'll be in a lot of regular personnel, so we'll be in a lot of a 3-linebacker set with 4 DBs. But, Marcus has been able to play the nickel and the safety for us. Duke Dawson needs to continue to come on for us. Marcel Harris, Nick Washington are all guys that need to continue to come on for us and help us there. But I thought he did a good job in the game. Brian went in and played well at the nickel, and we needed that. And both young corners played well. Quincy and Jalen did a nice job. So I've been pretty pleased that we've kind of performed a little better. We've improved a little bit each week, in my opinion. I thought the 2 young corners to continue to come on, and we're going to need to continue to come on as we move forward in our schedule as far as teams throwing the football. But been pleased with the progress from early in the year.
Well, you've talked many times in the past about the impact that belief has on your players. Just how badly did they need a big win against a really quality opponent to kind of fuel them?
Well, I don't think there's any question. It gives you a lot of confidence and belief in what you're doing. You put in a lot of time. Football's a hard game. You only play once a week. and you sit here and come over here for 4 hours a day and watch film and practice and lift and, do all the things that you do, you need to get some positive results from it. And the only way you do that is winning. And so to be able to, get a quality win against a good football team is much work, and much of the things we ask these guys to do, there's no question that helps.
Is there a sense that they could kind of take off from here, and that you might expect to see a little more swagger this week, that kind of thing?
I don't know if swagger ever won you a game. I don't know. We just need to take off to Vanderbilt and go play and play well. We're going to fly there.
Larry, left.
Will, Dante Fowler's not amassing large numbers statistically, yet he seems to be in the middle of everything. Could you assess how he's played and how important he is to the defense?
He's very important. He's played extremely well. I don't know what his stats are, but I like the tape I see, and he's playing extremely hard. You turn the tape on, old number 6 is flying around. And he's a guy you got to account for every snap, and I think he's playing extremely well. Very pleased with how he's playing.
Is he getting a lot of extra attention from opponents?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, he's getting chipped in some ways. I think we've done a nice job moving him around enough to where you can't sit there and know exactly where he's going to be, and playing enough, dropping him in coverage a little bit here and there, not much, but enough, and then playing 3 down and 4 down with him and moving him some different spots. And we've played him inside at times and a stand-up look to be able to get a matchup on a guard or a center. So we got to continue to do those things and move him around. But no, he's getting a little extra attention, but I've been very pleased with, number one, his effort, his attitude at practice. He goes out every single day. Again, another guy that's one of the best things God blessed him with is a competitive edge. The guy goes and competes every day at practice. He works extremely hard. He's a great example for our young players in our program. But when he was a young player, he watched Dominic Easley practice. He watched Sharif Floyd practice. So you kind of bring that through your program, that guys understand in order to be a really, really good player, you need to practice well. It's important.
Edgar and then Jesse.
How much do you have to manage Matt Jones' health at this point?
Well, we do. I mean, that's he did not have any swelling on his knee from Saturday, but that's something we constantly manage as far as his reps are concerned to make sure that we take care of him. Mm-hmm.
And the other thing, what was the first quarter defense struggled, and then it just pretty much dominated. What adjustments did you make? What differences did you see out there?
Well, I didn't really feel like that. When I look in terms of, different as you, are they getting a huge surge on you up front? I didn't really feel that way. They made a really nice run on the 40-yard touchdown. I mean, it was well blocked. We were in position to be there to make a play. We missed a tackle down the field. But that wasn't a something where we felt like we were just getting blocked. We felt like it was you tip your hat to them and go play the next down. He had the one zone extra on their sideline. We didn't fit the right way. Our nose got reached, and it was about a 22-yard run on their sideline. But we felt like we played the blocks well. So you're talking about 60 of the 65 or so, 70 yards of the 100 yards rushing in the first quarter comes on 2 plays. The rest of it past that, we felt like we were playing the runs pretty well. In the passing game, they didn't really hit anything on us in the first quarter. So let's just settle down in the run game a little bit, leverage the ball a little bit better, stay out of some of the middle field stuff or a couple of the personnel groupings that we did. And that was really it. I don't know. We weren't really a lot of adjustments because we didn't feel like that there was a bunch of explosive plays. There was really 2 that happened, and then they got a bunch of the yards late.
Jesse.
Well, last 2 years, you guys have kind of been plagued by penalties. First 2 games this season, same thing. Last 6 weeks, they've kind of disappeared. What's been the change there?
I wish I could tell you something real fancy, but I don't. We just maybe we're not making some of those knucklehead, late hits and things that we've sometimes done. Darius had an offside penalty the other day, and that was disappointing. It was a good job on their part, but I don't know what our other penalties in the game were on Saturday.
I mean, yeah, you guys have haven't had as many as 5 since the Kentucky game, so
I guess our guys are getting more disciplined. I don't know. We address it all the time. It's something we talk about. It's the self-inflicted wounds of a late hit. There's a difference to me between an aggressive penalty and a stupid penalty. And a guy going and exerting to go make a play, and they call, it's a fine line there. the jumping off sides business, we haven't had hardly any on offense. We had one delay a game. Treon needed to get the process going a little bit quicker. We may have gotten the call in a little slower to him. So that's probably on us as a staff as well. But I just think as much as anything, maybe our guys are a little bit more dialed in on some things. We do a lot of hard count at practice, more than we've done before, and we haven't jumped off sides as many times and during the game. We do it in practice all the time. It'd drive you nuts. But I don't know. We haven't coached it any differently. I guess what I'm trying to say. I think our guys have done a better job of it. We've coached it about the same way everywhere I've ever been.
Well, with the play of your 3 starting linebackers, it's been kind of hard for Jared to see the field. But what do you think of his progression that he's had and just the way he's playing?
He's playing really well. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. DJ said we need to get him some more snaps. And this week we'll be in more regular, so we'll be playing more of Sam, Mike, and Will as opposed to just two backers and a nickel set. So he's playing extremely well. Mm-hmm.
And then obviously you're facing a different defensive scheme than you did against Vanderbilt 2 years ago, but you had a bunch of success last time you went there with the quarterback running. How much do you think Treon might be able to do that
He's
this week?
certainly capable to do anything in the run game that we need to do to be successful. As far as any zone read, quarterback counter, quarterback power, he's got a knack for getting the ball vertical and taking care of the football.
Jonathan very well.
Kelvin had 200 yards through his first 6 games, 197 on Saturday. Obviously, coming into the season with a healthy Matt Jones, he had to have known that he wasn't going to have 200 yards every single game. But did you see a sense of relief from him to finally have that breakout game halfway through the season?
I'm sure he's very pleased, which we are too, for him. But Kelvin's a team guy. He's not a guy that has been sitting in my office complaining about this, that, and the other. I mean, that's just not who he is. He's a great person, and he's really happy for our football team when we have success, whether he rushes for 190 yards or 60 yards, in my opinion. But he goes out to practice every day, works hard, does what is asked of him, and that's the kind of teammate you want.
After the game, him and Matt Jones did an interview together on the field, and then you later photobombed it, I think. But they call each other brothers. Do you see that they are that close?
Well, I think that that's more than just them. There's a lot of guys that are very close on the team, but certainly they have a great relationship. I think any time that you play the same position, and we're mostly a one-back team, there's only be one guy out there playing the same position. The admiration they have for each other is important, and the support they have for each other is important. Mm-hmm.
Thanks, guys.
All righty, thank you. All right.
Nice to see y'all again.
Yeah, you too. You're becoming a regular.
I am. Yeah, it is.
Just raise your hand, we'll get your mic.
Thanks. Any concerns at all about backing up what you guys did on Saturday night, going to Vandy?
Any doubt?
Yeah. I mean, any concerns or doubt that you guys will be able to back that up and do it again?
At this point, no. Haven't seen Vandy as a defense on film yet. I'm going to get to that this afternoon, but I feel like we can do that as an offensive line. We've been doing that, like I said, all year. I think that's been our strength, is running the ball. So we're definitely going to go with that. I feel like plan of attack first, run the ball first and pass the ball when we absolutely have to. I think that's going to be our strategy, for the rest of the season.
Confidence-wise, what does a game like that do for you guys as a team?
It just shows us that we can compete with anyone. This is the SEC. Anyone has a chance to beat anyone on any Saturday. So we have to go out there with the confidence that we can win the game, and go with the confidence that we will win the game. Not, we hope we win the game. I think that makes a huge difference in how you approach a game.
Coming off a big win, do you worry about a letdown of any kind? Do you think this team will handle that well? Or?
No, I don't think guys are focusing on a letdown. I mean, we're going on a positive slope right now. We're not worried about disappointing anyone. We're going to go out there with complete confidence, because we're all we have to play for, for each other, and we're not going to let each other down.
Are a lot of guys talking about the division race now, or is that something you'll worry about later?
I think that's something that we'll have to worry about later, just because it's not completely in our hands. We're going to need help from other teams to get to the SEC championship, but we want to win out. Guys are saying 5 straight, and started last week with beating Georgia. So we're just, that's our mentality: 5 straight, win out, and get the best record as possible.
Did you already look at the scenarios, though, to know everything that has to happen, all the pieces?
Yeah, Missouri has to lose to Tennessee and another SEC opponent. I think Georgia has to lose again also. So, it's not in our hands, but, none of that matters if we don't win out either. So, like I said, we want to do our part, and, that's going 5 straight.
Nick on the left.
You guys ran for 418 yards, 60 carries. Is that sustainable the rest of the year to be able to win games and as an offensive line and running backs keep that kind of production?
I think teams will definitely game plan, more heavily focused on the run. So, it's going to be hard to have that, expectation to that extent. But it is going to be, our emphasis is it is going to be, what our strategy is, going into a game. We're not going to go into a game, saying we're going to air the ball out 45 times. We want to run the ball as much as possible. And, this is, football. People are going to game plan against, our run. And, there are great defensive coordinators out there that are going to look at the tape and see what they can do to stop us. But, like I said, as an offensive line, we're going to go out there and just keep, blocking people and finishing people to the ground.
And as an offensive lineman, what is it like to play in a game where the run-to-pass ratio is 10 to 1?
It's just fun. It's just fun, knocking people back. I played against some of those guys. I knew some of those guys. Lorenzo Carter, he's from my high school. So it's just fun, to win the game in that fashion, knowing that we just physically took it to them. And as an offensive line, like that's our game. That's what we want to do, especially me.
Jeff on the right.
Max, how satisfying is it to, for the offensive line to win a game like that against a quality defense and kind of dominate them physically?
Yeah, it's a satisfaction that you only understand, when you're a lineman. Just knowing that you just physically took it to them, it just gives us the confidence and going into the next week, knowing that we can do the same thing, because they are a quality opponent. They did have a good defensive line. so we're just going to go out there and do the same, go out there with the same mentality, go out there with the same motivation and inspiration because the season's winding down and we want to make the best of it. So I think it just gives us that confidence that we need to continue to play with each other and together.
Yeah, if the identity is to be a running team, how much did you guys kind of need a game like that?
I think a game like that was crucial. It was vital in just how we approached the game. Like I said, if the run wasn't working out, we were going to have to pass the ball. And, we didn't want to put the game in Treon's hands, especially being his first start. I think we will, gradually work into more passes, but we just wanted him to feel as comfortable as possible, just managing the game and taking care of the football.
Coach Muschamp, Max, credited you and a few others for kind of helping everyone stay the course on this team. I mean, how close to the edge do you think you were of this kind of season starting to spiral away before this game?
What do you mean by being close to the edge?
I mean, you guys lose again. I mean, do you feel like the team was going to divide a little bit?
It's hard to say. I don't think there are a lot of guys in the locker room that checked out. Some guys last year probably checked out by this point, losing games. But I feel like everyone is just extremely motivated, and we have a different type of chemistry on this team. Guys love each other, and we were playing for each other, and that's exactly what we need to do to keep going. And, I feel like I don't know what would have happened if we would have lost the game, but I'm just surely glad that we didn't, and it just just going to boost us up, to continue the season.
And you were one, I think, 3 starters maybe in that Vanderbilt game last year that returned, and I think Trenton was another, and he isn't playing this week.
Right.
Do you feel like you owe them something? I mean, they came in here, spoiled homecoming.
Yeah, they completely embarrassed us last year. I think the score of the game was like 37-17 or something like that. We were going to go to their house, and we want them to experience the same disappointment that they gave to us last year. So, we definitely have to redeem ourselves in that way. But we're going out there to play football. We're going out there. It doesn't matter who we're playing against. But it is an added, just token, just knowing that they embarrassed us last year at the Swamp.
Max, what did you think about the way the receivers blocked against Georgia, specifically Demarcus Robinson?
Man, I loved it. Man, it fired me up. Just seeing him throw 2 blocks on one play on that touchdown with Matt Jones running it down the left sideline, that was just incredible. I never seen wide receivers block like that before. It just shows that we have unselfish players on this team. I don't even know if he had a reception this game. But he still was out there. He was a playmaker, and that's what it comes down to, guys. Being unselfish about being on this football team and sacrificing your body for the guy next to you, and that's what it's going to come down to is guys willing to lay it out on the line for each other.
Most would think that it's not fun for a receiver to be in a game like that where they have to block. Were you encouraged by the way that they were willing to do it, and not only that they were willing to, but they seem really excited when you guys were scoring touchdowns because of their blocks?
Yeah, I was completely encouraged, totally encouraged, because I know, they come to Florida, to score touchdowns as well as a receiver. But when they're out there just blocking and like I said, sacrificing themselves for other people, that's just it boosts the whole team up, because we know they're not happy with not scoring touchdowns, but at the end of the day, it's about the team winning, and that's what motivates the receivers to go out there and block, is to win the game, because that's ultimately why we're here, is to win football games.
Nick on the left.
Specifically about DeMarcus, I think Coach said last year he had made some selfish choices that kind of kept him off the field. Just what change have you seen him, and was that perfectly pictured in just the way going out, not catching a pass, but still blocking for 60 minutes?
Yeah, I think he's just grown just as a person. I think he's just been more responsible in what he's been doing off the field. Just really encouraged by him just being a young guy and understanding that at this point in time in his career. And I think that's just going to, motivate him and drive him to be a better player for us in the future. So yeah, I mean, I'm just really encouraged by the way that he's grown as a person first and as a player second.
Jesse in the center.
Max, the running game didn't really get going until that after the fake field goal. You
Yeah.
had the long drive. How much just of a jolt of adrenaline and energy did that play give, not only the offensive line, but just the whole team?
Man, I was so happy to see McNeely score. I don't think there's anyone on this team more deserving, to be the hero. Just a great dude. Get emotional talking about him just because he's a hard worker, man. But yeah, just huge motivation for the team, man. And guys like him is why, we're going to be able to be successful because he cares about this program. I love him.
Max,
Yeah, I think if we had a whole team full of McNeelys, man, we'd be a national championship team just because of the way he plays. Just everything he does on and off the field, it's championship level.
Max, you went and saw him yesterday at Publix, took a selfie with him. What did that mean to him, and did anybody else do it? What were you saying to him when you went and saw him, stuff like that?
Well, when I got there, his family was there too, so just a great family also. They invited us in for 4th of July this past summer, so just a great people the McNeely family is. And, I just went over there just to say what's up. I know he had a lot of hype, during the day, but I'm just glad I got to be there and congratulate him that way. McNeely's my boy, man.
Last one, Antonio in the back left.
I was just curious what the reaction was from the family and some of the other guys. Mike came in last week talking about how his mother's taking so much abuse because you guys keep losing to Georgia. Just wondering what the family reaction was. They finally get a chance to retaliate, I guess.
Yeah, man, they were so excited. They were so excited just to be able to drive, back to Atlanta from Jacksonville with a smile on their faces, just to be able to go up there and just, just be proud, just proud to be a Gator, especially in that day. It just, gives them something to talk about. They got to go to work and, deal with coworkers, talking this and that. And, I'm just glad that I got to do my part and winning the game and being able to, just being able to represent, Florida in that way and just encourage our fans and just let them know that we're still fighting. We're not letting down, and we're gonna stick together.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Max. We need you every week, man.
Come back next year, too.
Muschamp said that he felt like this was the best game you played all year. Just what do you feel like you did in this game that warrants that?
I don't know. I did about the same. You know, I just had that extra push, I guess. I've never beat Georgia since I've been here, and the way that they talked all week, we had Mike P. and Coach Mark talk about how big the rival was to them, and you know, these games don't just affect us; it affect the future Gators and the Gators that already played in it. So you know, just a little more motivation, and then we coming off a bad loss too. So I just wanted to do whatever I could and play as hard as I could to make sure we pulled this one out.
How'd the team stay the course through the 3 out of 4 losses, the Missouri game, the defense and offense? I mean, how'd you guys stick together and pull this off?
Good leadership and belief. We got good leadership now. You know, I think it's been way better this year, even going through the losses. We have guys that stepped up, like Antonio Morrison has become a great leader, in my opinion. You know, he's toned himself down some, and he realized, you know, he got to do what he preached, and he has been doing that. And then just belief in the coaching staff and the game plan that they put together for us. You know, it's always a good one. You know, they can prepare us, but they can't play for us. So, you know, we just went out and did what we had to do, and it was a good game plan, and came out to win.
You were played in the Vanderbilt game last year,
Yes.
correct? Max says that they just embarrassed you guys and that you kind of owe them something. Do you feel kind of like you have a point to prove to them this weekend?
Oh, definitely. I think we have a point to prove every weekend. We believe, you know, and we're some of the only ones who believe in us. So we got a point and we got a chip on our shoulder every week we go out, and we want to win and make it look good too. You know, not just close. We want to go out, and especially on the defensive side, I can speak in there. And in the meetings, it's very intense from everybody in there, from the young guys to us veterans, and making an emphasis on we want to go out and, you know, win and make it look good, and especially on the defensive side of the ball, stop whatever they throw at us.
Andy in particular, though?
No, not in particular. Not to me. I look at it. Yeah, this week it is, but not Pacific. I look at it. We want to win. Do it every week.
Max Garcia was drawn to tears talking about McNeely. How close are you guys to that kid? What does he mean to you in having him score that touchdown?
Oh, that's his energy, man. Mike McNeely, you know, every day he come out, he's going 100%. If he's on the scout team one week, if he was a walk-on now, he's a scholarship, you get the same at Millie every day. He's just a guy that's going to, you know, you're having a bad day, that's a guy that's going to come up, he can tell, and he'll talk to you and, you know, just push you in practice if he see you having a bad day, or, you know, got yelled at and you're down on yourself or something. That's just the type of guy he is. You know, he don't always play a big role in it, but when he do it to his best ability and as hard as he can, and we appreciate it, man.
That play he made, how important was that for turning that game around?
I think it was the play to turn it around. I think it gave us momentum, and, you know, after that play, and he went in, and we practiced all week, and I don't know how, but it was drew up the exact same way. There was an exact formation. They did exactly what we wanted them to do. So he just went out and executed it. He got a little speed. He a cutback guy, so you got to play, stay at home. You got to do your job. You can't jump gaps with him because he's gonna jump around a little bit. He's not really the power guy that we've been going against recently, so it's gonna be real gap integrity this game, especially up front for us, and we just got to stay in our gap and do our job this week. Thank you.